Hello exceptionals, you're welcome to my YouTube channel again. This is the voice of David Gladness, and on this particular video tutorial I'm going to be showing you on how you can recreate this design you are seeing right on your screen, of course making use of your smartphone. So without further ado, if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button, like this video and comment if it was helpful. So I'm going to open my Pixel app software real quick, and as you can see I have my default page. So I'm going to click on the default text and delete it. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to set up my background interface. So I'm going to click on this place you're seeing right here. Then the color does not really necessary because we are going to be creating our background from scratch. So I'm going to click on image size. That's the most important part. The aspect ratio I want to use is aspect ratio 4:5. So you can just input 4000 by 5000. And as you can see, the aspect ratio is 4:5. Then I'm going to click on OK. Like I said, the background is not really necessary. So I'm going to click on this middle icon, then click on import. Mind you, all the resources I'm going to be using in this particular video tutorial will be provided in the video description box. All right. So the first background I want to import is this particular one you are seeing right here. So I'm going to my relative size and I'm going to increase it down to 100, as you can see. Then I'll go to my relative position and centralize the background. Perfect. Now I'm going to click on the layer icon, then lock it up. Now, the next thing I am going to do is to import the next background, okay? So I'm going to click on import, and then I will locate the next background I want to make use of, which is this one you're seeing right here. I'm going to do the same by going to relative position, relative size, and then relative position. Now, this time around, I want to reduce the opacity of my background. That's the transparency. So I'm going to reduce it to about 50. Then I'll click on the layer icon and then I'll lock it. Now we are almost done. I need to import the texture effect I used. So I'm going to click on import again. Then I will locate the texture, as you can see. Meanwhile, all these resources, these particular resources I'm using for the background, I downloaded everything on Pinterest. Now, you see this texture effect, I'll go to erase color. I will enable it. Then click on the color soccer icon and select a black. Just move it around, select a dark shade, as you can see. And here is what we've got. So I'm going to increase the tolerance a little. You can go to color, but then it's not necessary. You can go to color and use a white color for your texture. Now go to opacity and reduce it to about, let's say, 10. We don't want it to be too much. Then I'm going to relative position to centralize it as well. Then I'm going to lock it. Now we are done with the background, as you can see. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to import the lady's image I used. So I'm going to click on import. Like I said, all the resources I use in this particular video tutorial will be provided for you in the description box. However, this particular resources, I generated it making use of AI. Okay, so I'm going to increase the size a little. Let's just leave it at 7580 for now. If I need to increase it, I'm going to do that later. So let's leave this at 77 for now. Then I'll click on the layer icon and lock it as well, so that my hand is not going to be touching it. Now there is something I want to do. I want to work on the base, the down part of the design. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to bring in my grid line. I'll click on this particular one. Then I'll move it to 90, as you can see. So I'll click on it again. Definitely this is going to be at 95. Now you see this particular one, I'm going to click on it. Then I'll just click on this icon to add a new one. Already I had a video on my YouTube channel that explains how you can calculate your grid line. So when this is probably looking like magic, just click on the video popping up right now at the top right corner of the screen and you can get to understand what I just did now. I'm trying to calculate my grid line so that my design will be aligned. This helps with the balancing of the design. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to activate my grid line again. Then you see this particular magnet icon. I'm going to activate it and now bring in a shape. All right, I'm going to bring in a shape. So the shape I just brought in, I would make use of the grid line, the 90, right? This particular grid line. So as you can see, it automatically attracted it. Perfect. Now I'm going to copy it. I'll click on edit. I want to add a new grid line, so I'll just click on this one, then click on middle. Perfect. Now, the one I just edited, I'm going to reduce the size to something like this. Then I'll position it around this corner like this. Let's move it a little. Then I'm going to add a curve edge. All right, perfect. Now, if you should take note of this part of the edge, this part, you can see that there is a curve edge around here. I don't want that. So what I'm going to do there is I'll click on edit, move my shape a little to the edge, and then adjust it to something like this till I get what I actually want. I think this is perfect. Now I'll click on the layer icon and lock the both shape. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to bring in another shape. Okay, I'll click on this shape. Then I'll use the grid line again. I want to make sure those shapes are on the same line. So you can see what I'm doing. So I will bring the shape to somewhere around here. Now I want to use a gradient color. So I'll go to gradient. I'll click on plus. Now you see this brighter shade of the gradient. I'm going to click on it, then click on the color icon. Now I'm going to randomly select something like a yellow color. Okay, so I would copy that color code and then click on OK. Then I'll click on OK again. Now you see this part of the color again. I'm going to click on it, then click on this color icon. This time around, since I have my color code, I'll select this pencil-like icon, erase this color, and paste that color code I just copied. Then I'll click on this mark icon and then click on OK. This time around, I want this down part to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to drag it downward and let's see what we've got. All right. Perfect. Now I'm going to give it a curve. I will go to radius, then give it that curve edge. Perfect. But then I want to adjust this a little. I don't want it to be too big. All right, now this is perfect. Now I'm going to drag this shape downward. You're going to understand what I'm trying to achieve shortly. Just pay attention. Now you see this particular image. I want to hide it for now. Because I need to create that glass movism effect before what I mean by glass movism effect is this glass effect you can see here. So I need to create it before the design goes too far. Okay. I have a separate video already created on how you can achieve a glass movism effect. In case you want to properly learn how to create it, you can watch that video tutorial. All right, so now I'm going to hide all the layer. This is exactly why I needed to create the design now, the glass movism effect from the beginning. So I'm going to hide all the design layer except for these white shapes. Then I'll go to this background side and then click on transparent. Then I'll click on this save icon and save as image. Then you can select ultra, then save to gallery. Perfect. Now I would turn on all my layer. I'll turn this on, turn this on, turn this on, and every other layer. This layer. Now I don't really need these shapes again. I can delete them. Those white shapes, I can now delete them. However, I'm going to turn on the transparency of this particular background you're seeing right here. This particular one, I just drag it up. I'm going to turn on the transparency to the highest, opacity to the highest. Let me drag it back to the highest, as you can see. Now, I'm going to be adding, let me explain what I'm trying to do there. You can see this this particular white effect showing on the background, and the down part, that white glow showing. This particular white glow showing at the edge of the glass. That's what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm going to bring in a shape. I'll make sure the shape is somewhere long like this. And then I'm going to position it at the down part, just a little at the edge of the ending of the design. Then I'm going to copy the shape, click on edit. This time around, I need something a little bit tall, but not exceeding this part of the design, right? So I would position it this time around at this edge as well. Now I'm going to, you can see what I just did there. Let me change the background so that you can see properly what I'm explaining. As you can see, look at the edge, look at the white thing. You can see that white at the edge. That's just what I needed to create. Now I'm going to click on save as image, and I can save this as well as Ultra. All right, perfect. So I can now delete these white shapes. I no longer need them. However, remember the image we just saved as transparent shape the other time. I'll click on this middle icon, then I'll click on import. Then I'm going to look at it right here. Then I will use the relative size to increase it back to 100. Go to my relative position and set it at the middle. Then I'm going to lock it up. Now, you remember I increased the transparency of this background. I need to reduce it back. So I'll go to opacity and reduce it back to 50. Okay, let's just leave it at 60, right? Now, the image, the background we just saved, I'll go to my PicArt. Then I'll click on plus. Then you see this background that I just saved. I'm going to click on it. Then go to my FX effects. Then I'm going to select blur, as you can see. Now I will click on blur again because this is too blur. I will click on fade, as you can see. I will increase my blur. You can see I'm trying to create that glossy effect that we saw earlier in the glass movies in. So I'll increase back the blur to about, let's say, 40, and this fade, I'll leave the fade at, let's say, 10. If I need to adjust it, I'm going to do that later. Then I'm going to click on save. Mind you, I am using the PicArt Pro. If you need the PicArt Pro, click on the link in the description box. It's going to take you to my Telegram channel where I upload pro version of the apps I'm using for free. So now, see this shape, this particular shape that we just imported. Remember, it is no longer a shape. We have imported it as an object. I'm going to click on the image, then I'll click on texture. I'll select this texture icon. And then this image that we just blurred, I'm going to select it. And as you can see, just that way, I have been able to achieve the glass moving effect. But then it is not yet perfect. I'll go to stroke. I will enable the stroke. It should be a white color. So I'll reduce the stroke width to 1. Then I'll go to inner shadow. Enable the inner shadow. I'll be using white as well for the inner shadow. Now I'll use offset Y. I will increase the offset Y to about 10. I will increase the blur radius. And then I'm going to lock, okay, I already locked it. And as you can see, now I have been able to achieve that particular shape. So the next thing I'm going to do is to add a shape, right? So I'm going to import that shape and position it around this corner, just like this. I will increase my curve radius. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm doing properly. Now I'll bring in a grid line and I'll position it at 5. You can see. Now, without using the grid line, I think I'm kind of used to this system already. But then, you know, one thing you don't want to joke with as a graphic designer is the alignment of your design. You want to make sure your design is as balanced as possible. So the grid line will always come in handy. Although as time goes on, you don't really need the grid line. The grid line is just like a ruler. I explained this already in the video I made about how to balance your design, making use of the pixel art grid line. Okay, so I'm going to click on edit. I'll click on this particular one, select this and select middle. This will help me centralize the grid line properly, as you can see. So if you are not quite used to the grid line yet, this thing might be looking like magic, but trust me, be consistent using the grid line. You will definitely get used to it one day, okay? Right now, I'll go to my stroke, enable stroke, and then you see, I'll click on this color sucker, select this particular color picker, and then you see this shape that we created earlier. I'm going to select a brighter part of it. I just copy the color from it, and then I'll click on OK. Now, I don't want the stroke to be too much. I'll just reduce it back to 1, as you can see. This shape will be where I'll be positioning the scan code. Then I'll go to perspective. I want to give it that little effect that I added. I will enable the perspective, and then in this case, you might have to add a grid line. Make sure your perspective is not bent or this way, right? You can see this line. This is what I'm currently using for my home grid line as my home guide. So you can see I made sure that this black perspective line is perfectly positioned on the white shape, right? Then I drag it. Just drag it as much as you want, but don't let it be too much. Perfect. Now I'm going to click on import, and I have the scan code. I generated this scan code for the client. Then I'm going to reduce the size. I will increase it a bit. And perfect. As you can see, we have our scan code ready. Now, for now, I'm going to pause the down part of the design and proceed with the major design itself. So, I'm going to reduce this image size and then position it around here for now. I'll lock the image. Now, I want to import the perfume images I used, right? So I'll click on import. I downloaded the perfumes on Pinterest, by the way. Then I removed the background, making use of PicArt, as you can see right here. So I'm going to reduce the size. Now, you see this image, I'm going to adjust it a little. I'm going to like increase the size to cover up this particular empty space. All right, perfect. Now we import the second perfume image. As you can see, I'll reduce the size, then position it around here. Now this time around, as you can see, I want to make it look like an illusion that this particular stuff you're seeing right here is on top of the scan code. So I'm going to like drag this particular one under the second image. And I think this is perfect. Except you see this, I don't want this particular image, this particular one, I don't want it to show. So I'm going to click on the perfume button. I'll go to max effects, or better still, you can make use of the eraser, but then I'm going to be using the max effects. I'm going to enable it. I would click on this scale icon. I also have a video on how you can use the max effect, so I'm not going to go too deep in what I've already explained in my past video. You can check out the video. Now you can see I'll make sure you can see this max effect. I want to make sure it is aligning with that curve of the shape, as you can see. Then I'll click on this bezier mode. I'll just drag it straight. I'm going to position the max a little bit downward. Perfect. As you can see, I've been able to get rid of that particular excess. Now I'm going to lock the two images. Now for these images to look realistic, there is one thing we need to do. We need to add shadows, right? We need to add shadows. But then adding shadow one by one to all these images is going to be a little bit tough. So I'm going to show you one simple way you can do that by using the draw tool, right? So I'm going to, let's check out the size. I'm going to reduce the size to about 10, the smoothness to 0, the blur. Let me check it out. All right, I think I can work with that blur. Then you can increase the neon effect. Let's see. Yeah, now we need to zoom in. Now you're going to be using your hand to draw around the shadow, the down part of the shadow, the elements, all the elements, as you can see me doing already. This might take a little bit while, so take your time to achieve it rightly. By the way, if you make a mistake, you can click on this particular one, please, not everything. You can click, or better still, you click on the eraser. Then when you click on eraser, you can use your hand to erase any mistake you made. But then you can also undo this way. Don't click on this middle. If you click on this middle, it's going to clear everything you have drawn, okay? So I'm just going to erase a little. Then I don't need the eraser again. So I'm just going to use my hand to brush every other perfume. All right, perfect. As you can see, I have brushed all the base of the perfumes except for the green one, because I'm going to be creating its own shadow specially. So I'll click on this layer icon, then I'll drag that shadow beneath the two images, as you can see. Now you can go to opacity to reduce the opacity, because we are now going to activate the shadow itself this way. As you can see, this way we can increase the blur, reduce the blur, and control the blur the way we want it to be. So the offset X, I don't want it to be, I will reduce it to like take the shadow a little bit inward. The blur radius, I don't want it to be too much. You can increase or reduce the transparency of the shadow. Yeah, let's leave this for now. Then I'm going to lock the layer. Now I'll bring in a circle shape. I'll go to opacity, reduce the opacity. I'll increase the stroke, reduce the shape of the circle shape to be this small. Then I'll increase my blur. As you can see, I've been able to create another shadow. So I'll reduce the size. Then I'll zoom in properly so that I can position my elements. I want it to be flat. So I'm going to drag it as well beneath the two images. I want it to be extra flat. Perfect. You can choose to move it a little bit downward and reduce the opacity to about 80. Now let's zoom out, see what we have been able to achieve. We have been able to position our elements in the design and make it look realistic with the shadow. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is to bring in I'm going to lock the image. So we are going to bring in a shape. All right, before bringing in the shape, let me quickly bring in the logo I used. Meanwhile, this was a fictional logo. As you can see, I downloaded this logo as well from Pinterest, as the person I made this design for does not officially have their own logo yet. So I'll click on erase color. I will enable. I will increase it to the tolerance to highest. Go to color. I will enable it to white color. Then I'll go to max. I will enable the max. All I need to get rid of right now is that perfume text. I want to get rid of the perfume text. And that's it. Now, the reason why I chose this logo was because you can see it's giving me that stylized letter D effect. Okay, so, and the name of the brand I'm working for right now is Derus Fragrance, right? So I'm going to bring in, let's just assume this is our letter D. So I'm going to bring in a text. I will edit the text, delete it, and input the name of the brand, just as if I already have the D. So Derus Fragrance. Then I'll click on OK. Now I'll click on color and select a white color. Now the font I want to use a font that portrays elegance, because the design we are working with is something that has to do with elegance. So I'll go to my font and select a serif font. Let's use Acaslon Pro Regular. So I'm going to increase, I'm going to position it right here. Then I will increase the size of this text and align it properly. And I think this is perfect. As you can see, it's like Derus Fragrance. Now I'll click on the layer icon and then merge both layers together, the perfume logo and the new text. Mind you, all the information I'm using on this design, including their contact details and everything, is actually valid. You can contact them if you need your perfume. Okay, so I'm going to activate my grid line. So you can see again, I don't need the grid line to position it where I want it to be, but then I still make use of it anyways, because you don't want to joke with design balancing. Okay, so I'm going to, I'll also bring in another grid line. This time around, I want this to be on 5, as you can see. So I'm just going to position it around here. That way, I'm going to lock this. Now, I want to bring in my next text, which is wear elegance in every spray. This particular text that you can see on the design I made. So I will click on plus. I'll double tap, click on delete, and then input where I make sure every first letter is capital. Okay, elegance. Jump to the next line. In every spray. That's like a catchphrase or a sales copy. Now the color, I'm going to be making use of a black color. Okay, then I'll go to font, AB font right here. Then I'm going to select the font I used. The font I used was a default pixel app font. Let me check it out. I'll go to my recent. Okay, the name of the font is Yatagan. That means I'm going to see it here. If you should scroll, you probably will see it under your default Pixel App font, okay? Because this was not a font I downloaded. It's already inside Pixel App. So I just made use of it. So, but then if you cannot find it, you can just search for the name. I have a video now. You can download and install fonts to your Pixel App. So you can watch that video, download this font and make use of it, or just look for something similar to the one I am using. But for this particular design, I'm going to stick with that particular font. The name is Yatagan, okay? As you can see, the name is Yatagan. Unfortunately, since it's something that comes with Pixel App, I could not search. But then if you install a font, you can always search for the name under my font, okay? But then I did not install it, so I can't really search. So it will take me time to say I am looking for it. It's better I just proceed with the video tutorial, okay? Then I'm going to click on OK. Now, the next thing I want to do is to enable stroke. This time around, I want a white stroke. Then I'm going to enable it to be something like this, right? To the highest. Now I'll go to my line spacing and bring the text a little bit closer to each other like this. I think this is okay. Minus 13, 15. Minus 15 is fine. So I'm going to increase the size. Then position it right here. So I'll go to my size and reduce the size to about 65. I think this is okay. Now, please pay careful attention. I'm going to be creating a shape. I'll bring it around here. This is where we are going to be putting in our text, right? This is more like a text holder. So I'm going to drag it down. Give it a curve edge of about 30. Please pay careful attention to what I'm doing, okay? Then I'll use a black color because we want to customize our shape. Now, you can see, I'm going to copy it again. I'll click on Edit. Please click on Edit. I clicked on Edit. There is a reason for that. So I'm going to, this time around, return the, you can see this particular radius to 0. Then I'll drag this angle this way. I'll drag this to the top a little. What I'm trying to do there is to, let me bring in a white shape so you can see what I actually did. Let me bring in a white shape and position it beneath. This white shape is not necessary. I just want to show you something. So you can see I gave this part a curve edge, curve edge, curve edge, but then this part is a like sharp edge, right? Now I'm going to delete back this white since you've seen what I'm trying to show you. I'm going to lock the elements, then hide every other element. This was the exact reason why I had to quickly create the down part the other time. You can see it's a little bit stressful trying to hide every other element. Make sure all the elements on the design is hidden. Then I'll go to my this part, click on transparent. Then I'll save this as transparent image. You can click on ultra so that it's not going to take time to save. All right, perfect. Now the shape is done saving. I'll go to color, return it back to white. Now you can see we are going to turn this off and turn this layer as well off. And then I'm going to import the same shape I just saved by clicking on import. And then this is it right here. Then this time around, I'll go to my relative size, make it 100, relative position to make sure both are centralized. Then I'm going to drag it down. You can see this particular one I just imported. I'm going to drag it really, really downward. Beneath this lady's image, you know, we have turned off all the layers. So let me turn them back on so you can see what we are doing properly. We are trying to create another glass movie scene effect, okay? Now, I did not want to turn on the background yet because I want to show you something. So you see these shapes, we still need them. So we are going to drag them down until it gets to the top of this particular shape, right? Until it gets to the top of this black shape, this particular black shape, okay? So yes, I'm going to be working with this first one. Now what I need to do right now is to edit that shape. I'll go to opacity. You can see, reduce my opacity. Then I'll go to stroke. I'll add one. Okay, let's make it 2 stroke. Then I'll go to gradient. Now, as you can see, I'll click on this plus icon. Then you see this node or any of the node. Click on it, then click on plus. This will create a new node at the middle. You see this new node? We are going to drag it somewhere around here. Then click on plus again to add another new node. Now we are having 4 nodes. Now I'll click on this one, click on this color icon, and reduce the transparency to 0. We don't need any transparency at all. You see this one as well. I'll click on it, click on the color icon, and repeat the same thing, the transparency to be at 0. Now you see this node. We're going to click on the color icon, click on the color sucker. Then we're going to be sampling a color from here, a brighter shade. Then I'll click on OK. You can copy the color code to relieve you from stress, okay? I'm going to copy the color code. Click on OK, click on OK. Now you see this one as well. I'm going to use that same color code. I'll just click on this place. Please, I don't want this video to be too long because we still have a little bit of manipulation to do in PicArt. That's why I'm being a little bit fast. Then click on OK. Now, as you can see, we now have this particular gradient effect. However, what we need is to make this place visible and this corner as well to be visible. So this way, you see this from this side to this other end, we want them to be transparent. So let's just then I'm going to click on OK. And as you can see what we've got. So that has helped us. Let me change the background to black so you can see what I'm actually trying to show you. As you can see, that has helped us to give this shape. That's it gives it that, but this particular effect you can see right here, like as if the stroke is coming out from only some of the edges. Okay, so now I'm going to select that particular shape, the one we imported earlier, this particular one. Okay, let me just turn on all the background. Okay, so this particular one we imported, I'll click on texture and turn it to glass, just like we did for the down part of the shape. By selecting that image we blurred earlier, the one we blurred earlier, please, as you can see, it has turned to glass effect. It gave you that blurry effect, making it look like a glass. Perfect. Now we are not done with the shape, but then we are going to come back to it later. Now you see this particular second shape, this one right here. We'll go to edit, reduce the opacity just like we did earlier. We'll then go to gradient, the stroke, we want to make use of 2, okay? Then go to gradient color. We'll click on plus. This time around, what we want to do is a little bit simple. Okay, so I'm going to use this particular gradient fill, as you can see. Now you see this part of the gradient, of the effect, this particular part. I'll click on color and bring it down to 0 transparency. Now you see this part, I'm going to make it white, pure white, and full transparency. Then I'll click on OK. That way, we have created a new gradient fill. Okay, so I'll click on edit. I'll click on plus. Then as you can see, I'm going to drag it a little bit upward. This, you can leave it this way and drag this part instead. You can see. Then click on OK. That way, it's going to get rid of all the color around this part, leaving only this edge. Sorry, that's why you should lock your layers, leaving only this edge to be white. So I'm going to click on it, then go to my opacity. I'll reduce it to about, let's say 65 or 60. All right, 65 is enough. Now, you see all these shapes, I'm going to lock them. All right, here they are, so I'm going to lock them. Now, you see this particular glass effects. I'm going to click on it. I'll go to shadow. Let's go to shadow. I'll enable it. The offsets Y, I'll put it at 10. Then the offsets X at about 50. Minus 50. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to go to my inner shadow. I will enable the inner shadow. I will select a white color to make that white the glass effect look more realistic. So I'm going to bring the white to about the offsets Y to 10 and the offsets X to about -10 as well. Then the blur radius, we are going to increase it to the highest. Now I want to reduce the transparency of that white a little by clicking on plus, then reduce the transparency. We don't want it to be too much. Yeah, I can work with this. Perfect. Now, as you can see, our design is taking shape and we are almost done. Now, all we need to do, you see this perfume image, I'm going to click on it. This particular one, I'm going to click on it. Then I'll go to shadow. I'll go to shadow, enable shadow, reduce the blur radius to the lowest. Then I'll be selecting this particular color that we use for the stroke. Then we are going to add offset Y, just 2. Sorry, offset X at -2. And then we can leave the offset Y at 0. I think we can work with this. This is perfect. Now, this wear elegance, this sales copy, I'll go to shadow as well. What I'm doing now is color balancing. I'm trying to balance the coloring. Now, that's shadow. I'm going to select that same shadow effect, but then I don't want it to be giving me that neon effect. So I want to reduce the blur radius. Then my offset Y, let's leave it at -5 and offset X at +5 -2. Perfect. That way, I'm trying to balance where the colors and the view of the design coloring. And yeah, I think we are done with the design already. All we need to do is now bring in the list of services. Bring in another shape by clicking on this middle icon. Then I'll bring in a small shape around here, like a square shape. I'll give it that curved edge. Let me zoom in so you can see what I'm doing properly. Then I'll go to my gradients. Look at the gradients right here. And I'll click on plus. Now, what I want to use is this first gradient effect. This first one. You see this white part? I'm going to click on it. Click on color icon and put it at transparent. Now, this dark part, I'm going to click on it. Click on color. Click on this pencil-like icon. And the color code we copied earlier, I'm going to paste it there. I'll click on this check icon and click on OK. That way, we are going to have this. Look at what I've got right here. But then I'll click on edit and reduce the height a little. Then increase the width. Then I'm going to zoom out. You see what we have been able to create. I still need to reduce the height. Take it up. Then I'm going to bring in a new text. Position it right here. And just input with cell in capital. The color will be the same yellow or brownish color we have been using. I'll go to font, and the font I want to use is going to be Poppins. I want to use a sans serif font. I'm going to use Poppins bold. Oh, sorry, this is it right here. Then I'll click on OK. Reduce the size of the resell text and position it right here. I want to click on edit to reduce this a little. So I want to move this using the notch button so I can see what I'm doing properly. Alright, I'm trying to be fast because of the length of the video. We still have a lot to do. So right now I'm just going to input all the services, the product they sell. Alright, perfect. As you can see, I just typed out some of the items the brand sell. However, like I mentioned, this is a real brand. If you want to patronize them, you can check them out on TikTok or send them a message on WhatsApp. So this time around, I'm going to be using Poppins, but then I'm going to be using semi-bold, not bold, or medium. Let's just use medium. Then I'll click on OK. Now I'll reduce the size of my text to be small. Okay, let's just make use of semi-bold. I want it to be a little bit bolder. Okay, now I'll go to color. Now I'll be selecting these bullet dots one by one, as you can see, and then changing the color to this particular color until I'm done selecting them all. Perfect. So as you can see, I've been able to change all the colors on the bullet dots, right? So I'll just click on I'll go to my spacing, line spacing. Then I'm going to increase the line spacing to about 5. If I need to increase the size of the text, I can leave that at. Okay, let's just add, because that's not how they do. So let's just add and more. So I'll go to color, select that bullet dots, change it to this. Let's check if it will look nice if we change this to the same color as well. All right, it makes sense. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to lock all these layers so that my hand is not going to touch them. Now we're almost done with the design. All we need to do now is bring in the contact information. So I'm going to import the Facebook icon I downloaded. Oh, sorry, the TikTok. Okay, as you can see, I have it right here. So I'll go to erase color, enable. I will increase the tolerance, and I'll go to color, enable the color, and then I'm going to select white. I need it to be white. I'll position that right here for now. I will import it again, or better still, let's just copy this one. Let's copy it, click on crop, and then I'll move the crop to the WhatsApp this time around. Like I said, all the resources I'm using in this particular design will be provided in the description box if you need it, okay? You can check it out and practice. As you can see, I have my WhatsApp icon, and I'm just going to also bring it downward like this. So I'm going to position the WhatsApp icon right here. As you can see, my grid line is here. So let's just use the grid line to centralize. Now I want to bring in their contact information. So I'm just going to copy this "we sell quality perfume" text. I'll go to color, change everything to white. I'll double tap to edit, click on delete icon, then input their phone number. Please, if you need their service, you can patronize them, okay? You can patronize the client. All right, perfect. So I'll click on OK, enable my grid line, and position the text just in front of the WhatsApp icon. Give it a little spacing. So I'm going to copy the text, position it in front of the TikTok icon, and then input their TikTok username. Derus Glam and Fragrance. Perfect. So that is their TikTok username. You can check out their page, okay? Perfect. Now I'm just going to have to position this properly at the right angle. Now the first thing I want to do is to bring in a new grid line. I want this to be at 95 rather. Then I'm going to select all these elements, then start moving them just like this. I'll select the TikTok icon, move it around here. Select the WhatsApp icon and move it a little around here. Select the phone number, move it a little as well. Now I'm going to turn off my grid line, and then I'm going to select all the phone number and the two icon, their contact information, and move it a little bit downward. Now the icon seems not to be centralized. That's because of the type of font I am using. And now this is perfect. Now we are done with the pixel app side. Oh no, we are not. I need to increase the texture. Let me lock it. We are almost done. I need to increase this texture. It's not so visible, and I need it to be a little bit more visible. So let's just make use of about 20 or 15. 15 is good enough. So I'm going to click on import, and there is this texture I used. Look at it right here. I'll just go to my relative size, increase it to 100. Let's increase it a little bit with our hand so we get the feel we want. I centralized it after increasing. You can choose to increase it more depending on what you want. Then I'll go to opacity and reduce it so well to about 20 or 25. Let's just use 25. Oh, 20 is enough. I don't want it to be too much. Then I will lock it. Now we are done with the pixel app side of the design. All I need to do right now is just to click on save as image. You can save it as project in case you want to edit it later. So I'll click on save as image, then I'll click on save to gallery. You can see that this time around, I did not select whether I need it to be in ultra or, that's because I want it to retain a good quality. So it's going to take a little bit while. It's rendering image. Once that is done, we'll head to the PicArt to add a lens flare effect. So before moving on to PicArt, there were two mistakes I made while I was creating the video tutorial. I noticed them when I was editing. The first mistake is from the word elegance. I made a mistake that I did not remember to put the letter N in the word elegant. So please make sure you did not make the same mistake. The second oversight I made was here. You can see that there was a spray effect. There's this spray effect showing in the initial design. As you can see, this spray effect. I'm going to be including the resources in the description box alongside other design resources. You can download it and include it on your own design. I was so focused on not wanting the video to be too long that I made these two mistakes. Please don't make them in yours, okay? Now you can move on to the next phase by using PicArt. All right, perfect. So the design just finished saving. Now the next thing we're going to do is to go to the PicArt. Like I explained earlier, I am using the PicArt Pro. So if you need the PicArt Pro, the link to get it is in the description box. You're going to get it for free on my Telegram channel. Now, for this part of the design, you need to know that your data needs to be turned on. Right from the beginning of this video, I have not been using my data. I had to actually turn on my data because of this aspect. We want to add lens flare, okay? Now, what do we need to do? We are going to click on All Photos. And now we are going to import that image, the flyer we just made on Pixel Lab, which is this one right here. All right. So now the next thing we're going to do is to scroll and look for where we are going to see lens. Okay, look at this lens flare right here. So if I had not turned on my data, this part will just remain the way it is right now. So I want to make use of this lens flare, this one right here. Then I'm going to like move it. Let's increase the size. I'll move it, then position it just right here. I want to increase the size. Perfect. Now I'm going to be using the hue, this hue, to play around the color till it blends well with the original, the color of the stroke. So I'm going to leave mine at 35, and this is perfect. Then I'm going to click on lens flare again and bring in another flare. This time around, I want to make use of this one right here. So I'm going to increase the size and rotate it this way, as you can see. And I'm going to move it, increase the size, and move it around here like this. We don't really need to work with the hue. We can leave it the way it is already. All right, this is nice. Now, the last thing we need to do on PicArt is to add a form of texture to this white part of the design. This wear elegance in every spray. So how do we do that? I have a particular effect I already downloaded. So I'm going to click on this place you're saying add photo. Then I'm going to locate that particular effect. I downloaded it from Pinterest. I downloaded a ripple effect. It is called a ripple effect. So I'm going to rotate it this way, and let me zoom in so you can see what I'm trying to do. Now you can see how the shape look like. We are going to position this just on top, adjust the width and other things. Then we'll go to blend. Okay, go to blend. If this shape were to be a black element, we would have used screen, but since it is white, we are going to be using multiply or darken. any of them will work. But then in this case, I want to use multiply so that that effect will be very visible. You can see the differences between multiply and darken, right? So if it was to be black, I would have to use screen, but then I'm using multiply since it is white. So you can see the differences. It gave it that ripple effect. Then I'm going to click on this, and now we are done with PicArt. As you can see, this is beautiful. So I'm just going to save it by clicking on the download icon. Then we'll head to the last part of this design. I'll go to Adobe Lightroom. Mind you, if you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please kindly hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification icon. I post videos like this that can help your design game as a graphic designer. So I just selected the design I made, the one we just saved from PicArt, and then I'm going to click on Add. All right, perfect. So I'm going to select that particular design. As you can see, this is the one we just saved from Lightroom. The first thing I would love to do here is go to my edits, then I'll click on detail. I would love to increase the sharpening. For this particular design, I'm increasing the sharpening to the highest. It doesn't mean on every design you have to increase it to highest, depending on what you want. My detail, I'm going to increase it to about 60. My radius, okay, let's increase the detail to 100 for this design. Then the radius to be on 2.0. Yeah, this is perfect. It has popped our design a little bit more. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to go to texture. I want to increase the texture. So about 30. The dehaze, I'm going to increase it to about 30 as well. The clarity to about 10 or 15. Let's use 10. Because the more we increase our clarity, the darker our design is going to be. Yeah, we can work with 10. The texture, I would like to reduce it to 20. As you can see, the design has popped out a little bit more. It makes it more sharp. See the before, see the after. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is to go to color, and then I'm going to reduce the temperature to about -10. Let's check it out to make it a little bit cold. Yeah, perfect. I'll scroll up and increase the vibrancy to about 30. Already, if you want to save this design, you can save it this way, but then I am not done. I'm going to be doing a little bit of color grading. So I'll go to grading. This place you're seeing grading. Now my shadows, I would like to make use of blue for my shadows. For this particular design, make use of blue. Then the luminance, I'm going to reduce it to about -20. Then for the mid-tone, I would like to make use of red. The luminance, I'm going to increase it a bit. I'll reduce that red. It's too much. You can play around it to see anyone that will work for you. You can see. In this case, I just want to use red to enhance the skin color, the lady's skin color. Then the highlights, I'm going to be using a bit of green, something like green or cyan blue. Just a little. The luminance, I'm going to increase it as well. Now the global, let's just use green. Let's see if green will make sense. No. Okay, blue is, yeah, purple is making a little bit sense. You see, color grading is just about you playing around the effects and exploring so you get what you actually want, if it is giving or not giving. Yeah, I think this is all. Let's check it out. This is what we've got after the whole design process. So this was what it looks like after saving it from PicArt, and after the color grading and everything, this is what it now looks like. Yeah, now I can say we are officially done with the design. Please, like I mentioned earlier, I use the real details of this client. If you need perfume, trust me, you won't regret patronizing them. You can reach out to them on TikTok or contact them on WhatsApp, or just scan this QR code and it will direct you to their WhatsApp directly. So I believe this video has been helpful and you've learned one or two things. Please, if you're yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, kindly click on the subscribe button, turn on the notification icon so that when next I post a new video, you're going to get notified. Also, don't forget to drop a comment if this video was helpful. Now, to save your design, all you need to do is just click on this share icon and then you're going to click on save copy to device. Thank you once again for sticking around to the end of this video tutorial. I hope it has been helpful. See you on the next one.